The Matthew Dark Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, praise God and welcome in. Well, if you've been paying attention, we are in the mid of primary season here in the United States. If you saw at a federal level, maybe the most important federal election of the year went down last night in Kentucky. Thomas Massie loses. And what we found with this particular election is it wasn't an organic move. The people of Kentucky say that's not a good representative. We're coming after him. What we saw was the foreign money, not even Kentucky or United States money, Jewish money, Israeli money come in and buy a seat in Kentucky. That gives us a little forewarning of the power of money coming into this election season. And my goodness, over $30 million, the most expensive primary, Republican primary in the history of elections. Half of that money is just wasted, and AIPAC bought themselves a seat. So we can kind of make this suggestion that at the federal level, they've abandoned their post, and the agendas that we maybe had our hearts set on are now gone. But that doesn't mean you can't take your state back. There are some states up for grabs this election cycle, one being Colorado. Scott Bottoms, currently the HD 15 state rep in Colorado Springs, and then 2026 gubernatorial candidate. Scott, want to welcome you in and thank you for doing this, sir. Colorado is a state that is in such need of a resurrection, such need of a cleanse and start over. We've seen decay come in through weak Republicans and corrupted Democrats, demonic Democrats. We got a chance every 4 years. That's the beauty of this system, to take our seat back, take our state back. Sir, just want to get a temperature check. We're closing in on the primaries here in June. Just let us know the campaign. What's keeping this campaign alive, exciting, building momentum? What's going on when you're amongst the people? We'd love to get into everything that you're up to the moment on. Take it away, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. This has been an interesting election cycle because, well, a handful of reasons. We're seeing for the first time in quite a long time, the Democrat base in the state of Colorado is not okay with the extreme left direction that the leadership, the House, the Senate, the governor's office, state leadership, and the Democrat Party has taken. And so we're seeing a very unique shift that is going to help put me in the governor's seat. We're seeing quite a few hundred thousands of Democrats are going to vote for me. We're also seeing Colorado's very unique in this aspect too. Over 50% of the state is unaffiliated. They're not connected to any party, 52% of the state. And we're seeing that demographic really moving to the right, not in a Democrat Republican context. In fact, if you ask that question, they don't like those words. But it's definitely family values, protecting kids, a lot of those kind of things. And so this is an exciting year in the state of Colorado. Our campaign is moving quickly. Our momentum is huge. We're a caucus state, and so we have a state assembly. And we came through the state assembly. I won the state assembly.
Yes, you did.
And now we go to the primary, and our momentum is carrying us past the primary all the way to the general election. It's the most unique thing I've ever seen, and pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's well said on the unaffiliated. They're all up for grabs, meaning you can't look at Colorado right now and say it's affordable, can't say it's safe, you can't say it's a great place to raise children. And I think the beauty of what's happening on the national level is we are dissolving this fake two-party system, Republicans, Democrats. We need to be free. Okay, that's a godly man that's going to fight for kids. That's what I'm looking for. Now go do that thing. The people of Colorado have a very unique position. I mean, it's changes the nation. I think places like Colorado, California, going from this hardcore blue left where children are not safe, schools are no good, safety's out of control. That has a massive wave, I think, across the nation when you see these blue state stalwarts get taken down in a grassroots, in an organic, in a diverse mix of thing. What do you think the impact of Colorado getting a conservative like yourself, a God-fearing man like yourself, running the state? I just feel like that has tremendous value for the country, and we begin to push back on this demonic intrusion that's come in. It's after our kids, after our family, after our wives, after our children. Don't you see it having some big national impact, something like this?
Well, you think about on election night when the most liberal state in the United States, which Colorado has become, we've eclipsed California.
Yes.
Think about the shockwaves across the country
Yes.
when a Christian conservative pastor, a constitutionalist, is now elected as governor of the most liberal state in the United States. This is going to affect a lot of races and a lot of people, and I believe embolden a lot of
Yes.
state seats, a lot of federal seats that people are saying because we've had this narrative for too long in the Republican Party that the only way you can win is be some kind of middle of the road nothing, that
Yes.
you don't take a stand for anything. You definitely don't talk about social issues. You only talk about, the economy and things like that. And our economy is bad in Colorado. We are the third most expensive state to live in. And houses, we are the fifth most expensive housing market in the United States. This is craziness. But these mass groups of Democrats are not going to cross the aisle to vote on the economy. They have never done that. That has been proven over and over and over. But they are going to cross the aisle for some really big issues. And this is one of the biggest in Colorado right now is no boys and girls sports.
Yes.
That is a ballot initiative that's coming to the ballot in November, along with two others. This was put up by Protect Kids Colorado. I also ran those as bills in the state of Colorado, and they were all unanimously voted against by the Democrats. But 85% of the state of Colorado is not okay with boys and girls sports, and so we know that our dynamic is changing. The demographics are moving to the right. It's an amazing thing to watch, and we're going to see this play out in November. This is a guarantee.
Amen. Well said. We're grateful that Governor Polis does want to run for president or higher office at some point, and he has commuted the sentence of Tina Peters, who, of course, unearthed election fraud, and we know that that is rampant. How comfortable are you right now with our current system? Can we get a free and fair election? The best man wins. Are we set up for that going into 2026 here?
I do believe this is the first year in about 20 years that we're going to have a fairly legitimate election in Colorado. And part of the reason is we have the DOJ is investigating our Secretary of State and also all of the election process for four major investigations from the DOJ. Our Secretary of State and our Attorney General, and this also includes the governor in his office, which is, by the way, part of the reason that he
Ah,
is letting Tina out. That's going to be on June 1, is because he's worried about being caught up in this. These indictments are going to be for sedition, which is treason
yes.
against our country. And so, because of all of these things that are happening, and because of such pressure from outside groups that are about our election, I think that we are going to have one of the more secure elections we've had in 20 years. And here's the simple thing: if you count all the votes, I'm the governor. That's a
That's
guarantee.
right. Right, that's right. And that's all we're asking for as American people. Our person may lose, but it was fought on the field by the same rules and let the chips fall where they may. I think
Yes.
America deserves that. It's not happening right now. Scott Bottoms, 2026, we have gubernatorial races going on in Colorado, a chance to make a major shockwave throughout the nation. Colorado, you mentioned, is very expensive. The average home in Colorado right now, $636,000. You got to be rich. That's not working. We have criminals that have destroyed downtown Denver. We used to love to go there, ball games, Rockies game. I thought the Rockies game was one of the most fun things on a sunny
Yeah.
day you go do. It's undesirable because of where it's located. I guess as you take the governorship, what is those first easy low hanging fruit that we can go and get a victory for all Coloradans, not just right or left, but the masses? What are some easy ones to just say, well, this is crazy and we can do this, problem solved, going on right now?
Yeah, we can do a lot of things through executive order that really will fix Colorado quickly in a lot of different arenas. Now, we do have a long fight for some of the bigger issues, but one of the things, day one, executive order is we're going to go back to the Constitution, the state Constitution, the federal Constitution. This is craziness. How many laws we pass in this state that are not constitutional, that deal with Second Amendment, that deal with something that's very unique to Colorado, which is the Taxpayer Bill of Rights, what we call
Yes.
TABOR. These laws are passed that directly against the Constitution. And I read the Constitution in the well of the House and say, you cannot pass this law because of this constitutional statute. I mean, this constitutional line or this statute or whatever. And the Democrats will come down and say, we'll pass the bills, you sue us, which means they don't care about the Constitution. This is constantly what is happening. So the first thing we're going to go back to the Constitution. We're also going to make sure that there is no DEI, CRT, SEL, grooming language, none of that stuff in any state agency, in any state employee, anything like that. And that's going to push into the schools because teachers are state employees. And I'm going to do one little other thing that is added to that, I'm looking forward to this as much as anything else. We're going to open a hotline straight to the governor's office
Mm.
for any student in the state of Colorado, and parents too, but specifically students. They can call the governor's office directly and say, this teacher is grooming me, this counselor is grooming me. Now,
Nice.
most teachers and counselors are good guys. I understand that. And they're trying to do the right thing, but the bad actors are truly intentionally bad actors,
That's right.
and we want them fired and put in jail. And this includes the pipeline that we have going into the hospitals in Colorado, where they've been doing transgender surgeries and therapies and all kinds of things. We want to go after those nurses and doctors that have been complicit in this, and get them not only lose their job, but they need to go to jail for pedophilia. And so
Yes.
these are some things we can do day one. We're gonna cut the budget of Colorado like crazy. It is out of control. It is not balanced. It is corrupt, and it's a shell game. And then the last piece of this is we are going to doge every single thing in
Mm.
Colorado, every agency, every NGO that gets any state money, anything that the state has any kind of influence in or part of or appointees to or whatever. We're going to doge those things, and we're going to root out the corruption like crazy in the state of Colorado.
And how that message doesn't land on 90 some odd, just our little sliver at the top, that 2% of the wealthiest Coloradans might say, well, now hold on a second, you're disrupting the system. But that message speaks to all of us, regardless of political affiliation. We cherish our children. They're a gift from God. Christ says, and what you're recommending with jail time, that needs to be the standard. And we're going to talk a little
Yes.
bit about that from the top, the federal level down, how we need to be treating our children. But Christ is very clear. Do not interrupt one of these children wanting to come to me. It would be better that a millstone is around your neck and you're pushed out of the sea. He's saying it's better if you're not with us. And that's the way we feel. You cannot be amongst us if you're going to corrupt children. We
Yeah.
protect and preserve children. And so that speaks to so many. The cost of living out of control. So many parents and people I speak to in a they have to leave the city they grew up in if they want to have a family in their 20s.
Yeah.
The average homeowner, first-time homeowner right now is buying at 38 years old. That's too late in the game to be starting a family, savings, and all of that stuff. We have to make that attention. And at the end of the day, money talks. Money talks. Every single one of these people, at the end of the day, they don't care what political party. They just want more money in their pocket, more freedom to do things they want to do. So that should be easy. That should be Pickens. Give us sort of a taste of how this stacks against who you're running against, both Republicans and Democrats. Where is this message separating it from the crowd? Your declaration to put these things at the top of the priority. How's this all feeling amongst the competition?
Well, one of the reasons that Colorado has become what has become is, and I'm going to start with the Republican side, is because Republicans won't stand up for what's right. They will not talk about social issues, even the crime that we've got going on. We've got a Venezuelan cartel that has taken over a couple of blocks within Aurora, which is an immediate east suburb of Denver. And they're just acting like it doesn't exist. They're not talking about it. I'm going to go in there with the National Guard, sheriffs, police officers. We're going to blow that thing wide open, and the rules of engagement will be eradicate that Venezuelan cartel. They are a heavily armed military force in our state, and Maduro, before he was snatched by
Yeah.
President Trump, he said the reason that they are there is to disrupt our political and our financial systems. This is scary stuff, and we just pretend like those are not issues. Republicans pretend like social issues are not the issue of the day, and it doesn't matter. We just need to focus on potholes. And yes, Colorado has some of the worst roads in the United States. I will make sure that we fix the potholes, but you know how we're going to do that? We're gonna doge CDOT. There's corruption there, which is why our potholes are not being fixed. So that's one of the biggest things is I will talk about the social moral issues, and I'm also a strong leader that will not compromise to get votes, to get people to like me. I don't 4 years in the House, I never back down on the big issues because I'm a leader. I'm a true leader. On the Democrat side, this is the simple thing. There was a debate maybe 2 weeks ago, From the top, the only two Democrat contenders, Attorney General Weiser and Senator Bennett, and they spent the entire time talking about how bad Trump is, how bad Trump is. Trump derangement syndrome at the highest level. They have no policies, they have no direction. They do not care about the state. Attorney General Weiser is an extreme leftist
Yes, he
Marxist
is.
that has sued the federal government, has sued ICE, has sued, and now Denver and our governor's office has made an agreement that police officers, in fact, it's a mandate to the police force that the police officers in Denver will stand against to the point of um, uh, uh, physical standing against ICE officers in Denver. This is going to cause a massive rift when it actually comes head to head. You're going to have police officers in Denver that are been told to, I don't know if they'll actually do it, but to shoot ICE officers. How is that a healthy state? I mean, that's the Democrat platform right now, that we're a sanctuary state, we're a sanctuary city, and we're going to be soft on crime. We're not going to go after these things. I'm telling you, the people of Colorado are tired of this. Polis, Governor Polis, Attorney General Weiser, Senator Bennett, and Senator Hickenlooper. Those are your four big Democrats in the state of Colorado. All of them, all four of them, their numbers are sliding so fast they can't keep up. But they keep on with the same old message, which is what? We hate Trump. Well, people are tired of we hate Trump. They want to know what you're going to do for Colorado and how you're going to help Colorado. And those are the biggest differences between my side and also me with against the Democrats too.
Yeah, it takes boldness, bravery. What I'm suggesting is that moving forward, and I'm a three-time Trump voter, so I take full responsibility. I take, but even knowing what we know now, could you vote for a Democrat just because Trump's so bad? And what we're really describing is that we need a Christian declared, God serving, submitting man must be the one leading the nation. The secular man, the Jewish man. I mean, look at Colorado, for example. This is why this isn't working. Polis, Jenna Griswold, Bennett, Weiser. These are all Jewish Americans. And we have rot going on. We want Christian values, the Lord Jesus Christ. And it says in Isaiah, government will rest on his shoulders. He will lead the way. We will follow him in obedience. That must be the case for any leaders. The secular man is getting destroyed and destroying states. So we have kind of a packed house, kind of a packed field here. Three on the Republican side going into this thing. So our timing is what's our date for primaries, Scott?
June 30.
Okay, so June 30, this is that last month of the thing. What are you going to be doing moving forward? We got to lock in that swing amount of votes to push this thing over. Where's the messaging, right? This 30 days. Where is it going?
Well, obviously, when we're headed into the primary, your focus is your own party. Now we do allow unaffiliateds to vote, and we've been trying to affect that. But you're going mostly for your own party. We're all over the state. I have been for the last year and a half. I was the first to declare for governor back in December of 24. So we've been everywhere across the state. We're continuing that. We have like the West Coast sweep. We have the East Plains sweep that we're getting into every small town, every big town, and we're going for every single Republican voter. And by the way, statistically, polls, everything out there that is being addressed or graded as far as where we stand, I'm extremely far ahead of the other two Republicans in the Republican primary. And so, even though we're not taking it for granted, we're not just going after Republicans' votes this next month because we want to reach the Democrats. We want to reach the unaffiliated. We know we're having a lot of traction in both of those arenas. We're very strong with the Hispanic community. We're very strong with the under 30 community, which is the number one demographic in the United States and Colorado that's moving right. And so I just love going to these towns. I love going. We've been invited to parades. I love to march in a parade. Nobody's ever asked me to march in a parade, and now I get to it. So this is fun. We're all over the state of Colorado.
Excellent. I wonder as you're out there, of course, November of 2024, we send Trump back to the White House. It felt like at the time we've saved America. This was our last chance. We couldn't handle 4 more years of the rot and decay that Democrats and Joe Biden and Kamala. We couldn't deal with that. So we got it. And we had this great agenda talking about Doge. We started with Doge. We talked about the border. Now, the border is closed at about 94%. We're still building the wall, a little bit of slippage. We've not done any of the deportations. That stopped some time ago. We've done maybe the greatest cover up in the history of America regarding the Epstein files. We've
Right.
not dealt with inflation at all in America. We've been overseas. We've been in Iran. We've been in Venezuela. We've been in Ukraine. We're doing all these things. We're spending money. We want to go to Cuba. I'm wondering the response. Are you seeing, and it's a betrayal. We're disappointed. There's no doubt. I mean, we pray every day on this show for one thing, that Donald Trump becomes a Christian in office and changes the world. That's the only way to get out of this thing. What's the response of people? Are you seeing them wanting to double down into the Trump, kind of MAGA thing that really doesn't exist anymore? Or are you seeing a free mind? Are you seeing somebody who says, I want change, I want different, I'm not doing status quo? I guess, how is Trump and the federal kind of mess being received at the local? Is it discouraging voters, or is it encouraging them to get out and take control of what they can?
I don't know if I would frame the discouragement or encouragement like that. This is what I'm seeing happening. I'm a Trump supporter without a doubt. The things that he's done, specifically the big beautiful bill HR1, man, that's all Democrats can attack in the state of Colorado. But Trump gave us a lot of tax cuts. He stopped Planned Parenthood funding. There's a lot of things. One thing that I try to help people know, it's a tiny little thing, but I think it's beneficial, is now the Pell Grant. You don't just use that for college. You can use the Pell Grant now because of the big beautiful bill for trade schools,
Right.
for certificates, things like that. And so there's a lot of things that came down positive with that. I get the question all the time. Do you want Trump to support you? Do you want a Trump endorsement?
Right.
It's kind of a wash in Colorado as far as whether it helps me or not.
Right.
Trump wants to endorse me. I think that's a fine thing, but if he doesn't, it doesn't hurt me, because it's not a strong push. We're not trying to build Trumpism in Colorado. We're trying to
Right.
have an American first and then a Colorado first concept for Colorado. And that, yes, we do need the illegal immigrants out of the state, and specifically the illegal immigrant crime shut down. But we can do that ourselves. We've
Right.
got our own National Guard. We've got our own policies. We don't have to have the federal government to step in. If they want to help with that, sure, that's fine. That's good. But we have ICE agents already all over Colorado that are doing phenomenal jobs with this. And so the Trump direction is not, it's not really playing out very strongly
Yeah.
here in Colorado one way or the other, except for the big beautiful bill. Now it cut taxes on overtime and for restaurant pay and stuff like that, for tips. And then, yes, our state legislature, the governor, called us into special session so we could make sure we could have to tax them back. Even though the big beautiful bill said no tax on tips, we said no, we will tax tips. This is the craziness that continues to force a wedge between Democrat leadership and Democrat voters. And so it's not really a Trump issue here in the state of Colorado. It's a Colorado issue. And we're going to do this. We're going to, the moment I'm governor, executive order, we're going to be strong against crime. We're going to back our blue. We're going to make sure ICE and the police and the sheriffs can interact. That's against the law right now in Colorado. So we've got a lot of things that we're going to do, but Trump's not really part of the conversation, good or bad.
See, and that's great. That's really well said. I think that is encouraging, because what we can see is that we sent him there to do these very special things. And I will say, the concern with the big beautiful bill is that it's inflationary, right? Because it preserved high levels of government spending plus tax cuts, which create government deficit. And we know that we then print money, buy bonds, and then this cycle continues. And so, yeah, okay, let's set that one aside. We can give them a pass on that. What I think what's beautiful is you got to have a more immediate, direct impact on the quality of your life by putting your vote efforts and time to your state, your local stuff. I mean,
Yes.
throwing that federal vote into abyss, like 1 out of 10 things may get done, where now we're seeing no direct action to improve the quality of your family. That can happen, and it can happen in a quick way. This is not like an 8-year process. What you're describing is day one, we
Yes.
begin to take action. If I want to lose 50 pounds, I better start today with eliminating something from my diet, knowing that that's a long way to go, but we can be successfully gauging progress along the way. So I absolutely
Right.
love that. And it's encouraging. We've got to have clean elections. We've got to have fair elections. We're moving in that direction. We've got to have inspired voting that says, I'm not tied to a party. I'm tied to a person that will go get a better life for me and my family,
Yes.
an affordable life for me and my family. And so this is all stuff that's speaking to it. So it really is going to be, is the state of Colorado so in such a demonic hold, so mentally ill that they can't see through the fog? Or is things like this going to really start to settle in their heart and say, get rid of the pride? Isn't this a lot just pride? I'm a Democrat, so I vote Democrats. I couldn't ever say, hey, but they're doing a bad job with the kids. They're aborting, they're sex changing. I'm going with this guy. I almost think it's a better Republican independent environment once Trump is out of there, because there is no affiliation. And in fact, you could go anyway. From a Democrat, unless you actually like the abuse of children, that's still a staple in the Democrat Party. And so there
Yes.
should be some easy stuff to transition to on the right.
Yeah, and we're already seeing that. This is not like brand new information that we're coming up with in the last 3 or 4
Right.
weeks. This is something we've been seeing change in the state of Colorado for a while. The under 30 crowd is so tired, and specifically males under 30 are moving to the right and getting politically involved, and that's not a normal thing.
Right. Right.
But this is happening because they've been told for 30, 35 years, they've been told that you got to act like a woman, talk like a woman, think like a woman, or women will not like you.
Right.
And then they realize that, yeah, the only thing you accomplish, though, is now you're in the friend zone BFF, and you're
Right.
not actually going to settle down with a woman because
Right.
women don't want that.
Right.
That's the big lie that has been
Yeah.
told. And then the straw that breaks the camel's back is then you tell these guys that you have to, and that's boys and girls, and then you have to now call men women. And they're done. They're just saying, forget it. We're not going to play the political game. We're not going to do this. And this is part of the reason they put Trump in office. The under 35 crowd, it was strongly engaged. The Hispanic crowd was strongly engaged within electing President Trump. And the reason is not necessarily totally because of all of his policies or whatever. It's because he is a strong leader that will do what he says. And part of the definition of strong leader is when he, a reporter asks him a stupid question and he just calls him out and
Yeah.
says, that's dumb, you're fake news. The under 35 crowd is loving this. For the first time in their entire lives, they're seeing people that will stand up against stupidity and stand up against fakeness, stand up against the cultural narrative. And I'm that guy. I even have a lot of only in the leadership, but Republican leadership that don't necessarily like me because I'm not playing their game. I'm not playing Democrat Republican games like that we've always played. I'm stating truth at all times. You can ask me any question at any time in any circumstance, and I will answer exactly what I believe. And people are noticing this and they're paying attention that I'm not playing the political game. And that is what the state of Colorado is desperately hungry for right now.
Yeah, what you're describing is authenticity, and it's the most attractive of all characteristics that we can find. And those terms speak to it. Those causes speak to it, and then your heart's locked in. And okay, that's somebody I'm willing to get behind, donate to, and just support, and maybe just do something different. Because if it was working so great in Colorado, you're not running for governor. These guys are doing a fantastic job. The reality
Right.
is that we're in rot across the nation, and these people work for us. You work for the state of Colorado at that time. President Trump works for me, works for you, and we have to put these politicians back in that perspective. This is what we need, and you're the person that God has said, go get it done. And we're going to hold you accountable to getting these things done, but we're going to support you, pray for you, love you. And that has to be the mentality. Well, Scott, this is really good. This is exciting and encouraging. Of course, last night, terribly deflating. I can't wait to get into the post Thomas Massie stuff. And again, I just think the highlight of last night, folks, was a foreign entity, a outside money, purchased a seat in the United States Congress in Kentucky. Now, you have to step back and say, am I okay with that? If you are subject to incredible amounts of corruption down the road. Scott, where's all the places we can find you, see you? We want to support you and continue to stay up to beat with the election.
Yeah, scottbottoms.com has all of our stuff on there that you can even volunteer to knock doors and walk streets and put out banners for us at that same place. You can donate. on our website, scottbottoms.com. There's all kinds of videos and things you can pass along. We've even got some really cool stuff that is coming out right now, some animated videos and some really exciting stuff that I love what our team is doing, that you're going to be seeing come out. It's just really cool stuff, and that's going to be over the next few days, the next week or so. And so, because one of the bills that we passed here in Colorado is that that restaurants will be fined up to $1,000 for putting too many napkins or too many ketchup packets in the bag. And so we made some fun videos making fun of that lunacy. Right. So there's a lot of stuff on there. Anything you want is on there, and you can contact us, email, cell phone. We're very accessible across our campaign with everybody, including myself. And so we're in an exciting time. Jump on board. I think you'll enjoy what you're seeing.
Yeah, Scott, we're so encouraged. Our support is fully behind you. God bless you. Prayers with you. We'll connect on the social, put up all the links, and just keep this thing going strong down the finish line here.
Yeah,
but folks, do this until next time. Serve the Lord Jesus Christ. Tell a friend about him. Stay good. God bless everybody.
The Matthew Dark Show, your one-stop show for truth, courage, fellowship, and faith. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.